You know, I feel like I can get over the losses because the music is just so smooth.
Yeah.
Little lost blues.
Yeah. And you know what?
I like it.
They're like, this could have been a lot worse. We did not have the worst night for Valley sports teams. Let's just put it at that. Too soon? Thank you all so much for tuning into the PHNX Coyotes Postgame Show. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah here with Petey and Craig. First time the three of us are all together for a full postgame show this season. We have Danielle behind the Mac. And while you're here...
Is that true?
It is.
It is. And while you're here, if you're not a diehard, become a
not?
diehard, because when Cooley scored his first goal tonight, the Discord was absolutely lit. I tweeted screenshots on my Twitter account. Amazing stuff. So become a diehard today so you can read Craig's mailbag that dropped yesterday. I have no idea what day it is.
You might even be able to read like some Diamondback stuff that'll never see the light of day.
So Craig has
anywhere else.
some Diamondback nuggets that he might just reveal to diehards because they might not go anywhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we invite you to become a diehard and join the family. But let's get into this one. Do you want to start with our 30-second summary thing?
Do you want to do that?
Yeah, let's start with it.
Okay, how do we do that?
Is it speed read?
No, so
Like Shane's voice?
we're going to start doing this thing again, borrowed from our friends at DNVR Abs, where we summarize the game, but they do it in 60 seconds. We're going to do it in 30, and we one of us can volunteer. So, PD, why don't you go?
Okay,
30-second game summary, go.
10 minutes into this one, Troy Terry gets 2. It's 2-0 Ducks. Battle back before the end of the first period. Crouse from Moser and Bukestad. Cooley with his first, we'll talk about later, from Moser and O'Brien. Moser with 2 assists. We're tied going after 1, right? 2-2? Yeah, then Arizona goes up 3-2 on a goal from Crouse, Michele Valimaki. Carlson scores on a tip to make it 3-3. And in overtime, Troy Terry with the hat trick. Ducks win 4-3, and that's your 30-second summary.
Well done, PD. Well done.
See how people get don't people are gonna turn it off?
So thanks so much for tuning into the post-game show.
If we could leave after that?
That'd be something.
Buddy.
Especially after a loss.
Yeah, we should talk to Saul about that.
Good
night, everybody.
Craig is gone. All right, I guess I'll carry this one.
Okay, so now we can dive deeper, though.
Let's dive deeper.
Summary, so we know we got to talk about who got the points, and there's some good things.
There were some good things. There were some good things in that game.
Yeah, look, OT's a crapshoot, right? I mean,
and Coyotes had possession for like 2/3 of the overtime.
If possession won you the game, the Coyotes won.
Yeah,
because they had it of the 4 minutes that they played in overtime. They clearly had it for 3.5.
Yep,
and brought it back. And
it's
did it again.
Fine. It's an OT loss.
It's
whatever.
Fine.
They were the better team, I thought, tonight. I thought they were a better team on the ice tonight.
One of the things, though, the Anaheim Ducks have won 5 in a row. They're now 3rd place in the Pacific.
Yeah, what the hell is going
on?
on?
The Coyotes in the playoff standing. So the Coyotes are in a wild card spot, but Anaheim is tied for that last automatic playoff bid.
Paper Tiger.
But the point of that is this is a team that the Coyotes need to get points off. Like, you've got to get points.
Yeah.
And if you talk about
did.
playoff games, so you got a point on the road. Now you have to make hay at home. So you got to come home for 3. You've got to get some points on these games at home. And it starts tomorrow in Montreal.
Yep, absolutely. Well, let's dive into this one, and let's start with the numbers and kind of paint a picture. Coyotes outshot the Ducks at every turn in this game and ended the game outshooting them 35-29. But unfortunately for the Coyotes, no real success on their power play. The Ducks, however, found success on theirs. They were 2 for 4, those first 2 goals of the game. Troy Terry on the power play. Big hitting game. We'll talk about the hit on Sean Durzi in a little. Ducks 27 to the Coyotes 8 hits. Pretty big disparity there. And then the Coyotes had far more shot attempts, 66 shot attempts to the Ducks 43.
27 hits to 8 tells me one thing. The Coyotes had the puck. They had the puck way more than the Ducks tonight.
And it showed too in the shot attempts too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is one of the things you saw in the Chicago game last game where they get 8 goals. The Coyotes are better offensively over these last 2 games. And I know you get the loss in overtime, but they're possessing the puck more in the offensive zone. They're getting more shots on goal, which is something this team didn't do a year ago, was shoot the puck enough. So there are some positives offensively coming from that, and that is a good thing.
Would you like to know their Korski percentage, as Dave Tippett used to call it? It's Corsi, but
I don't know what that means.
Did you give it a Korski?
I don't know what either of those things are.
It's 63.75% for the Coyotes. So it just
what does that mean?
Well,
no idea.
Shots and shot attempts correlate to possession. They do not equate to possession, but they give you a pretty good read on what happened in the game. And when you look at these numbers, the Coyotes have the puck for like 2/3 of the time.
So that's positive.
And it is positive because we talked about this team having the ability to get secondary scoring try to find offense. And I thought that those questions were answered today. The concern, though, from the numbers was the power play going 0 for 4.
Yeah.
And they went 0 for 2 against Chicago. So now they're 0 for their last 6. This is a team that had power play goals in 6 of their first 7 games. And now they've gone scoreless in 2. And I didn't get the feeling tonight that I guess there was that one flurry where Schmaltz put one off the post, but they didn't gain momentum on their power play. They didn't get great scoring chances off the power play. That was a concern. That's something you're going to have to capitalize if you're going to want to win these games. You've got to be better in the special teams, and they gave up 2 while shorthanded.
Yeah,
so.
they definitely didn't win the special teams battle. Sorry to correct you. They did go 1 for 4 against Chicago on the power play.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But special teams were a big deal tonight. You play even in the special teams game tonight, you probably win this game pretty easily because they were just a better team at 5-on-5. And they've been, we talked about their inability to score 5-on-5 early in the season. They're okay in that department. The Chicago game helped a lot, but they haven't given up a lot 5-on-5 probably more importantly. I think they're a top 10 team in goals allowed at 5-on-5. So you get those special teams short up or clicking like they were at least the power play earlier in the season. You might have something here. Yeah,
and when you look at the Ducks getting 2 goals on the power play, and I know they had Troy Terry's a highly skilled player, but you're going to get some of these teams. This team is going to have to play. When you look at teams like Colorado and Toronto, and the teams that have those high end power plays in Boston, and the top 10 power plays in the league, Anaheim's not a top 10 power play in the league, and you're giving up 2 out of 4. They're going to have to tighten that up. Yeah. And to me, it's allowing those seam passes that we talked about that they're just giving up too many of those looks.
You just don't like their structure in the PK. I see what you're talking about too.
I think they're so aggressive, and I know Andre Tourigny wants his guys to be so aggressive, but when you're aggressive, you open up holes. If I attack a player and there's only 4 of us to 5 of you, if you attack somebody, there's going to be holes in behind you, and I just wish sometimes that their sticks would be better prepared in lanes, and maybe they wouldn't attack quite so hard. If you're looking at a guy with full possession of the puck and he's looking at you, don't go. Don't go. This is the National Hockey League. The puck skills of the players you're going against are so good. If you see numbers, go. Meaning if you see the back of their sweater and you see their number on the backs, go. But if you see a guy looking right at you, just be patient and hold your spot. So yeah, it was a little frustrating watching that tonight. They're going to have to get better on the penalty kill, and we're going to set the bar high. If the team's going to say that the bar is the playoffs, then if you want to make the playoffs, you need to win the special teams battle. Yeah. And I thought that was one of the areas tonight that made the difference.
Well, let's get into some, I guess, more positive. Not that we've been super negative, but there were a couple really, really great things tonight. And let's start with Lawson Crouse finally scoring his first goal and second goal of this season. Lawson Crouse, of course, has been a guy, he and Barrett Hayton, who can't freaking buy one and still couldn't. Had a couple tonight that were just, so close. But Lawson Crouse finally, he returns from illness this week. He gets on the board for his first 2 of the season and kind of felt like the floodgates opened for him.
Yeah, it's good to see him. I didn't think that line was great earlier in the season. I didn't think they were generating a lot, but they're doing more now. And I've liked their game recently. So good to see him get on the board. But the thing that disappoints me still is that we didn't get to see Lawson and Claire Krause's Halloween costumes.
God.
Apparently they were going to dress as Limu the Emu and his Doug.
Is that his name?
His sidekick is Doug.
Doug.
But they didn't get a chance to do it because...
Who is going to be the...
Yeah, who
This is what I did not ask the follow-up question,
Craig,
but I am...
as a journalist.
I am guessing... I'm just going to put this out there. I'm guessing that Claire would have been the Emu. That's what I'm guessing.
I think the opposite. I think Claire would have been Doug.
Wow, that would have been
and
something.
And I think Krause is bigger, taller.
We might need to follow up on this.
Yeah. And we need pictures of that. And Krause was successful for the same thing that they did against Chicago. They got to the net. Yes. And Lawson Crouse scores both of those goals from in tight, from very good passes, but he's a guy that needs to get to that area of the ice, and he did.
Did you like that subtle little cross check? Clear a little space there, and
that's what big guys got to do in front of the net. But he gets to those areas, and this team over the last 2 games has been able to get to the net. Second game in a row, the top line's not on the score sheet.
Yeah,
and that's a line that has to be on the score sheet.
Yeah, because Nikita said, normally I expect a number 1 center to at least chip in some points. It's like this line, it's so bizarre. I mean, it was even more bizarre in the 8-1 game. How do you not contribute on any of the 8 goals? Tonight, okay, like obviously the Krause Michelli line had some success, and then obviously Cooley, who we'll talk about in a bit. But yeah, just bizarre.
And Hayton's name has come up a lot in the chat. There is going to start to be, if not already, some questions there. I mean, Barrett Hayton's job is to get to the front of the net. He's there to get the other two guys the puck and get them space by getting to the net. However, as the number one center, you also need to be able to put points on the board and distribute the puck to those guys, and you should be getting some points. He's not finishing. The chance he had tonight is a fantastic scoring chance, and you like that he's getting the scoring chances, but at some point, that line has gone scoreless in 2. At some point, and it's not like they got what 11 goals over those 2 games, and these guys don't have a point.
What do you do though? Like, do you really have any legitimate options to play between Schmaltz and Keller? You don't. Like people are like, well, Logan Cooley can't play on that line. You can't. Do
my goodness, no. Oh my goodness, can you imagine the defending there?
No.
I mean, no offense.
Could you put? And he doesn't belong there, obviously, but just to shake things up, could Nick Bjugstad play between those guys?
I don't think he can. I don't think he plays that style of game. Nick Bjugstad is a north-south guy, and he's going straight through. And that line we saw tonight, that they're so
good in that LA game. They had no zone time.
And the chances they did get tonight were off the power play. I don't know. Again, don't panic yet. You're not 10 games into the season, so you don't want to mix things up too much. But they're also, if you're not going and things aren't going, you got to do something. And so that wouldn't surprise me to see Boyd just jump in there for a game and maybe put Hayton down and maybe put Hayton on the wing. I try something else. I think you need to jumpstart the whole group right now. Those 3 players, and maybe that jumpstarts Barrett Hayton. Put him on the wing with Logan Cooley. And right now that spot would be open if 72 jumps up. Maybe try something different. I know the way Bear coaches, that's not going to change anytime soon. I mean, it's going to have to go 4 or 5 games without them getting any points. And I think Andre Turney's fine with Hayton not on the score sheet if Keller and Schmaltz are.
Right.
Because if he's getting
that's how
screen,
it was with the first few games of the season. That's what it was. It was, Hayton wasn't scoring, but he was in front of the net, and Keller and Schmaltz had points in the first, I don't know what it was. I mean, they were shut out, but they had a ton of points in that first week of the season, and all of a sudden, it's just completely changed around, and it's been kind of frustrating because you need your top line needs to be contributing offensively,
or at least even feel like Barrett Hayton had the great chance in the third period, but I didn't feel like that line. I guess there were moments where they were putting pressure on offensively, but there was a lot more flash and dash than there was outcome. Like they passed the puck around a lot. And I know that on TV it looks really cool that they're all skating around, but the puck really never got in from the top of the circle.
That's true.
They kept dropping it to each other at the blue line.
Yeah.
It looked cool, but there were no shots coming out of it. There's nobody getting to the interior out of it. It was all perimeter play and very active, but somebody's got to get through the middle of the ice and try to get to that net. So we'll see as it progresses. It's just frustrating because this is a game I think they could have won. I think when you look at the shot attempts and you look at the power plays and it's frustrating. I think they could have come out of this game with a win.
I thought when they were when it was 3-2, I was thinking, they're winning this game. I just felt it. And then Ducks come back, tie it late. You think, if it goes to overtime, I don't know. The momentum just felt on the Coyotes side. It wasn't a terrible game by any means overall for the Coyotes. I guess on the one hand, it's good to come away with the 1 point, but they had the 2 points. That's what's frustrating. It wasn't so bad of a loss like when they were up 4-1 on the Kings and blew it in regulation to 4 unanswered goals. It wasn't that sort of frustrating loss, but they had the 2 points in their hands, and that's what's annoying. And especially for Coyotes fans against the Ducks in Anaheim, there's just story here and brewing. I feel like this game. The Ducks games have been so kind of aggressive. And you want to see them win against, I guess you can call them a budding rival. That's how I feel about the Ducks, at least.
And that's where you needed your top line, right? To get that goal. As Tip used to say, I know that next goal to push the game along, right? You can put the game away with that 4th goal. And I felt like they were close to doing that a couple times and just couldn't get it. And then the Leo Carlson redirect.
And if you go and you look at the game, the stinker from the other night, this is better. I mean, they were skating, they were moving, they had puck possession, they were off. Things were okay here. Don't leave this going, this is devastating. Well, it's not a devastating loss. It's a game they could have won.
Yeah.
That's all.
And again, a point on the road. They've got 3 out of 4 against Anaheim this season. You're fine.
Yeah. And 2 more games this week at home. So there's a huge opportunity here.
But you need points there.
Yes, you do.
And then if you get points out of Montreal and Winnipeg, and even the Winnipeg team, I think that Winnipeg team's a pretty good hockey team. If you can come out of that with a point, get 2 tomorrow against Montreal, and then you got to get at least 1 against Winnipeg, and then you got Seattle coming in next Tuesday. You got to get points there. I think they need to get points the next 3, and I think it's possible.
Yeah.
But I think they do need to get another win tomorrow against the Montreal Canadiens.
All right. Well, we still have a few things to talk about. We've definitely buried the lead with Cooley. I want to talk about the hit on Durzi. But before we get to all of that, I want to tell you all about Gila River Resorts and Casinos.
You do you, Leah.
There you go. And it's so funny. I was cleaning up my office today, and I found a howler head, and it had an advertisement on it. Gila River Resorts and Casinos. I was like, this is meant to be. I'm sad I didn't find it yesterday for Halloween, or I would have worn it on the show.
Did you guys wear Halloween costumes on the show?
He was beer.
He was beer?
Mm-hmm.
I am beer?
Mm-hmm. Huh. And I wore my tinfoil hat and an alien hoodie. You know.
I'm sorry I missed it.
Well, we're super excited to partner with Gila River Resorts and Casinos, Arizona's best and biggest resorts and casinos. And we got the $1 million Big Red Showdown at Gila River Resorts and Casinos, Wild Horse Pass, Lone Butte, Bequiva, and Santan Mountain. You can sign up for the showdown and stay in the game and get rewards. It's that easy. Visit GilaMillionDollarShowdown.com to get in on the action. And for more information on Gila River Resorts and Casinos and all they have to offer, head to play@Gila.com.
And then you need to try out your Hero Bread.
You do.
Because Hero Bread gives you low carb options, regular bread, seeded bread, and
tortillas.
The tortillas are absolutely amazing. If you can tell the difference between that low carb option with zero sugar. Yeah, I'm not
ultra low net carbs and zero sugar.
Low net carbs, 0 sugar. The tortillas, you cannot tell the difference between that and a regular sugar. I'm telling you can't, because I have high cholesterol. We talk about it all the time. I'm over 50 something, and so I have to watch my carbohydrate intake because of the sugars. And so Hero Bread fits perfectly, and I do like it, and I do eat it, and you cannot tell the difference. I'm telling you, with all the seeds, high fiber too, so keeps me regular in the morning.
Oh, boy. That's what we're getting to get this Ducks fan out of the chat. Talk about Petey's regularity. Right now, Hero Bread is offering listeners 10% off their first order. Just go to hero.co and use code PHNX to save on Hero Bread today. That's HERO.co to save 10% today.
So D-Stone, I get it. Pretty happy the Ducks won, apparently. But a little early. Like, buddy, but the team stinks. And they've stunk for a very long time.
Like, this is fool's
Yeah, like, we're not having a Stanley Cup parade here down Mill Avenue, but they sure as hell ain't doing it there. Like, buddy, pump your tires just a little bit. Pump the brakes.
Waddle, D-Stone.
Yeah. No, it's good. You got a big win at home. Great. And you won 5 in a row. We'll see.
Oh, boy.
February's a long way away.
All right, let's talk about Logan Cooley, because the monkey's finally off his back and he finally gets his first NHL goal. And it was a beauty. And I'm so glad this was his first NHL goal and not the possible tip-in on the Carconi hat trick that everyone was really confused about. That's not what your first NHL goal should be. If you're Logan Cooley, this should have been your first NHL goal. An amazing kind of breakaway opportunity, great play, and you can just see the joy on his face after he scored that, jumping into Sean Durzi's arms. Just amazing, a long time coming, and hopefully this kind of takes that weight off his shoulders and he can breathe a little easier, and Maybe the floodgates are open for Cooley.
Maybe if he starts to shoot the puck again, get to the net, shoot the puck. He's got nine shots in 9 games. Shoot the puck. He's got to get more shots on goal. That's where it starts. I get it. He's being deferential as a rookie. He's a playmaker anyway, and he can certainly do that. But he needs to be a shot threat as well if he wants to get on the score sheet. But again, like you said, it was a spectacular goal. It wasn't. He didn't cheap it on us with that one. That was fun to watch. That was a good, beautiful goal, and maybe it will get him going. And I'm sure they're encouraging Petey. You would know this better than I would. In the room for a guy like that, they did it with Michelli last season when he's just not getting shots to the net. At some point, the coaching staff's going to say, "Hey,
you got to shut the puck." Okay. Yeah. And that's going to come up in the meetings when you're looking at video, going, "Hey, these are opportunities." Like, I know for this team, probably a week ago, that's the film I'm going to show the next day to everybody, not just Logan Cooley, that you're passing up shots. I think they did better tonight. Logan Cooley had 4 attempts So that's better. Only one hit the net, which was on his breakaway goal. I'd like to see his speed. I like the way he protected the puck on that play. I think he is showing that he's more physically mature than maybe some other 18-year-old rookies in this league. So I think that will bear fruit over time. And I think this will also get him that confidence. And he's a player that plays better when he has that confidence. And I thought for just a moment today, you saw a little bit of that Cooley swagger that we saw in preseason that you haven't seen through the first 9 games, that you just haven't seen that. Like, I've got that little bite. And I thought you saw that tonight. So I think that this goal, I hope helps propel him into that confidence. And he's going to have, I can do this. And once he figures out he can do this, he's a really, really good hockey player. And now that Lawson Crouse has done it, I think that's going to open the floodgates for him,
we just need Barrett Hayton.
We just need Barrett Hayton. We need to have a Barrett Hayton walking and talking.
Oh,
that's
we need it yesterday.
There you go.
We need it yesterday.
He's up next.
Bring some sage while you're at it.
He's up next. And next time we go, we got to talk to Barrett Hayton and walk and talk. And I think he really does need that, because you saw last year with Barrett Hayton and his entire line, when he got on the score sheet, they blew up. Yeah, he blew up last year. So let's just hope it starts before game 33. That's all.
Oh, boy. Logan Cooley is now tied for the rookie lead in points with
Connor Bedard?
No. Have you heard of Ridley Gregg for the Ottawa Senators?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the other guy.
Connor Bedard?
It's not Connor Bedard.
I thought they gave him the Calder already.
No.
Yeah.
Not yet.
They didn't.
I think they did at CHGO, but...
Yeah, they clearly did.
So, I mean, even though he only has 1 goal, he does have 7 points on the season. So, I don't know. This could be the start of a really, really interesting rookie race. This is something we're going to track all season, not just with Cooley and Bedard, but it's a very, very interesting race. I mean, you got Luke Hughes at the top up here. You got Bobby Brink.
Bobby Brink, do you know his, I know you don't know because I haven't told you, his grandfather was my high school hockey coach.
Well, I thought you were going to tell me he was in
his dad is from Bemidji.
He was in armored truck security or something.
His dad was from Bemidji and played for the Golden Gophers, and Bobby.
Oh, man.
Bobby played for Denver, but yeah.
Don't forget Matthew Poitras.
They have connections to Bemidji, so we're rooting for Bobby.
Rookie. There's like 10 rookies right now that are.
It's crazy rookie race.
And they're guys that are playing important minutes for their teams and are playing very well right now. And
can't forget Matty Nyes.
Matty Nyes, another name you got to throw in that hat. So
Arizona
Leo Carlson tonight with his 3rd goal.
Yeah.
There's some really big Slavkovsky.
Oh, I might be writing about him tomorrow.
More about that tomorrow.
Get some fire takes on the Slavkovsky tomorrow.
D-Stone, great game. Sorry, I got too excited. We appreciate you for being here.
D-Stone.
No. We're just chirping you.
Blow the wind, D-Stone. You got the win. D-Stone, it's all good. It's all good.
Okay, well, I have a couple nuggets. You know, I always have nuggets.
Leah's nuggets.
Here we go. So, Logan Cooley scores his first NHL goal tonight against the Anaheim Ducks. Who else scored his first NHL goal against
we
the
already
Anaheim
know
Ducks?
because he told us, but tell them.
Clayton Keller.
Get out of here. His first NHL goal?
Yep.
Great things ahead for this kid.
Yep. So setting a good precedent.
Really?
And then here's another fun nugget. Cooley at 19 years and 181 days came the youngest player to score their first NHL goal with the Coyotes since Barrett Hayton, who was 19 and 138 days on October 25th, 2019.
Barrett Hayton feels like it's been 19 years and 138
it's true.
days since he scored his last goal.
Logan Cooley is the 3rd youngest Coyote to record his first career goal.
There you go.
So there's
really
Leah's
cool.
nuggets for the night.
Nuggets. There you go.
The Coyotes have 30 goals this season.
Look at that.
Siri wanted to give her nuggets.
Siri, that's a Siri nugget.
Looking for some airtime here.
A little Siri nugget.
A Siri nugget. Oh my goodness. That was unexpected. All right. I want to talk about the hit on Sean Durzi because that was a really interesting. Dirty on Durzi.
Yeah.
That
Frank
was
Vatrano,
wow.
I didn't like. Listen, what you hear often is, the onus is on the player. It's about body position, right? Ovi lowers his head at the last minute. Sometimes there's nothing a guy can do at the. I didn't like that he grabbed his head as he rammed into the boards. Frank Vatrano, I thought, grabbed his head and pushed it into the boards. That to me is a dirty hit. That can't happen. That has to be taken out of the game. And I fully expect player safety to do nothing about it tomorrow.
See, for me, the speed that this game is played at is so high. And it is so dangerous out there. Those are the hits that the league needs to take out of the game. when the player is defenseless, you're seeing his numbers, you're going into the boards, you're going at full speed. Vatrano had the ability at that point to lay off. I understand it's a contact sport, and I am okay with him making physical contact here. My problem is along with you, Craig, where you see when you watch the replay again, his hands are up, and he's physically pushing Durzi's upper body and forcing his head into the boards. That's where it becomes really dangerous to me, and that could have ended much, much worse.
Oh,
and
God,
Durzi gets up and fights, so you know he's okay, but Durzi's head was right at the dasher, and that's the most vulnerable and dangerous part of the boards. I just would like to see a player like Vatrano pull up there a little bit. Just don't follow through on your hit. Make the physical play to separate the player from the puck, which is what you want to do, but that could have been really, really dangerous. And I'm usually not one to say, oh, the refs. I think that needs to be called a penalty.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you could keep, the fight was going to happen regardless because Durzi felt he was taken advantage of there. But I still would like to see the referees make a call on that play, and that's frustrating.
Yeah, it's frustrating that the only thing called was him getting a misconduct for
out of
his
the game.
jersey coming in or not being strapped down, which I understand. But it's like, really, of all the things in that sequence, I do like that Durzi stood up for himself. Just glad that he was okay. But I like seeing that little bit of fight in him.
It's great, and this team has to have that whole team toughness, which I think is getting better as we've seen through the Bill Armstrong era. They're starting to get more of that. I'm glad he stood up for himself. I just thought the play didn't need to happen.
Yeah. And it was him getting kicked out was a huge bummer because the Coyotes were on the power play still in that time. And then he could have been used in 3-on-3. Like the game could have been different if he was in. So it's just really unfortunate that sequence of events, but he's been good this season. So, and
I'm going to address Aiden said it's inexcusable to have the fighting strap, and I don't know. And the only thing Aiden was I saw him going into the boards. When you see him falling in, again, we'd be looking at it frame by frame right now in the room. We don't have that luxury of that. It looked like he was tied down, and when his rear end hit the ice, that might have taken the snap. Because all it is, it's a very thick piece of material with a snap on it.
It's a pretty bizarre call to make after that play. Like with
of
what could have happened in that collision, you're going to make that call at that point? Really?
And by then, the fight was over.
Yeah.
Like he had the jersey on for the entirety of the fight. The reason the rule was brought into place is because the fighters back in the day, that gave them an advantage to get the jersey off. So now my arm is free and I can fight. So that's what the rule is in place for, to not allow players to have the freedom to fight without their jersey, and that's what the rule's for. I'm going to check in tomorrow. I'm sure the equipment guys will love to talk about this, and I'll go right at them and say, hey, what's it? And sometimes they don't. Sometimes they forget. We'll see.
Yep.
I need to rewind because I'm moving on from the Durzi thing.
Yeah.
I need to rewind.
It's fine.
We need to. Siri really threw me off because she was chiming in and I got sidetracked, but we forgot to say who's got that desert dog in him.
Oh my gosh.
And I mean, it's obvious tonight. Craig fought for Lawson Crouse, but you got to give it to Logan Cooley when you score your first NHL goal. So Logan Cooley, you got that desert dog in you. He's got that desert dog in him, and he absolutely deserves this tonight. And I hope that he feels very proud of himself.
Yeah, he should. It's something that the weight off his shoulders now, and let's see a whole bunch now. And let's see some highlight reels. And
right.
For Lawson and Claire and the Butter Pig, Craig did fight for you. So don't leave him off the Christmas
It was just funny because like he gets his first goal. We go, oh, like Cooley's got that dog in him. And Craig goes, well, what if Lawson Crouse scores a hat trick? And then Lawson Crouse scores a second goal. And we were thinking, oh my God.
Came close to getting the third.
And then he came close to getting the third. I was like, we might have to do this. But anyway, it was funny. But we had, it was an interesting night here in the studio. Obviously, we had our game going on, the D-backs. Still sad, but luckily Petey brought in all of his leftover Halloween candy, which was so nice of you, Petey.
Yeah,
so thank you. And I saw you mention on some Circle K chips.
I did. I went back to the Circle K cart.
Because sometimes you need a little salty with your sweets.
I finished off the chocolate and I needed some salty.
Exactly. So we're very lucky to have the Circle K snack cart here in our office, but you can get Circle K snacks at any Circle K location. And I promise you, there's a Circle K near you because they are absolutely everywhere. And if you haven't joined the free Inner Circle program, you should do that today because you'll save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. You can join absolutely. It's for free. And all you have to do is download the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit circlek.com for details. The D-backs crew has worked their freaking asses off, and I just know that Damon and Dirk are taking an OGs tonight and going to sleep for 12 hours. Like, they have worked.
Time.
And Jesse, I mean, don't even get me started on Jesse and all the work he's put in.
Jesse's still working. He's just starting his writing.
Yeah, I know.
We're talking right now.
Oh my God.
Chris made it home. That's good. We're glad she's safe. She's getting her OGs right about now.
Yeah, listen, it's an
Just settle
OGs
her
night.
down.
Chris also got her jersey back, which is really cool.
Unbelievable. We're so happy for Chris. But yeah, this is a big night for OGs in the Valley, for Valley sports fans. So we have a special offer as well. You can get 25% off. 25% off OG's products at your neighborhood Zen Leaf location from now until November 30th when you place an online order and use our code. Just head to zenleafdispensaries.com, find your closest location, order your favorite OG's gummies for pickup, and enter discount code PHNX at checkout. This deal is exclusive to our PHNX listeners, and reminder, it's available only for online pickup orders. Discount code PHNX is active until November 30th. So check it out. All right. Were there any other parts of this game that we didn't highlight?
Veg.
Oh, yeah.
Veg.
He made a great save in overtime.
He made a spectacular save in overtime. It's too bad he didn't get a win for that, but I didn't like his rebound control at all.
Oh,
in fact,
what rebound control?
No rebound control. He was booting everything out, and that was a little disturbing. He was a little too active at times, but mostly I noticed the rebounds.
Yeah, and when Veggie is playing like that, it's very, very noticeable because he's a guy, when he's dialed in, he doesn't, not quite as active, but you're right, the rebound control. I don't know if he's trying to boost his save percentage by getting more shots. Maybe, I don't know, but he did spit a lot of pucks back out. And concerned. I mean, I'm sure we'll see if, Ingram's already, they've given the nod to Ingram for tomorrow night, so they've gone every other so far.
They are, and we know Veg owns the Winnipeg Jets.
He does.
So he'll be in goal on
he
Saturday,
does own the Winnipeg Jets.
He does.
Yeah.
His first shutout was there with over 50 saves, and that'll be a matinee.
That feels a million years ago, doesn't it?
Is that 1 o'clock in the afternoon?
It is.
1 o'clock.
Perfect
I like
for
love
you.
it.
Perfect for you guys.
Man,
Perfect
friggin'
for
tastic.
you guys.
Yeah,
So
buddy.
you don't fall asleep.
Way past your bedtime.
No, and so that the goaltending was good. Not great.
When he just slides around, it gives me so much anxiety. And once you notice how much he slides, and it's funny because when JD was here, we watched, because they alternate. So we watched a game with Veggie and a game with Ingy. And I said to him, I was like, watch how much Veggie slides. And then the game with Ingy, JD's big takeaway was like, he's just not giving up any rebounds. Like he just swallowed up everything. And that was kind of his analysis of Ingy at the time. And not that Ingram's been perfect since then. He's had a couple tough games as well. But it's just something I've noticed. So it'll be interesting to see how that's addressed.
In 6 games against the Winnipeg Jets, Karel Vejmelka has a 1.82 goals against average and a 950 save percentage.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I would say he gets. And I tell you
Plus
what,
the
I know Corey Schwab digs deep into those stats when he's looking at. I know right now they're going alternating every other, but those kind of stats are things that absolutely he is well aware of. And if it didn't happen to fall on that game, I would imagine he's getting to start against the Jets anyway.
Yeah. Very
but as far as this game, positives. Offense, they're getting secondary scoring from other guys besides their top line. I think that is a positive. You're getting more shots on goal. You see more shots attempts by this group. So those things are the positives. Take away the negatives. They're going to have to do better on the power play and the penalty kill. Their special teams are going to have to improve if they want to get to the mythical playoffs. They're going to have to get better on their special teams. And the top line's going to have to get on the score sheet here in this week when they're at home. Those are the takeaways I have from tonight's game.
Yep. Well, so far they have 3 points in the first 2 games of the week, which, overall not bad, especially the one road game. So let's take a look at the upcoming schedule. Obviously, the Canadiens in town tomorrow night. So the team's getting on the plane in Anaheim, heading right back here to face Montreal. And then, as we mentioned, Saturday matinee against the Jets. But lucky for the Coyotes, they get to stay in town, don't have to get on another plane for a couple of days. And Seattle visits Tuesday before they head on the road to the Blues next Thursday.
And this sets up good too, because you start looking at, and I don't know, there is rules by the NHL PA, that you have to have certain numbers of days off, and you have to say before the month that day's a day off. So I don't know their calendar on when their days off are, but that sets up really nice for the 1 o'clock in the afternoon game to have the Sunday off, because you've now played 3 and 4.
Yep.
And now you get Sunday off, which is great because then you get a Monday practice time. It's nice to have the luxury of a day off to get your rest, Then you have a practice day to get back into it again before you play Seattle on Tuesday. So I really like how the week sets up. That 3 and 4 is tough.
Yeah.
And it's a Winnipeg Jet team that can play with some speed and some pace. So that's a little concerning, but I do like the way this week settles in for this team.
Yeah. Spectre one in the chat said, leaving for Arizona from Kansas today. I'll see you at the game Saturday. I'm so pumped.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome. Safe travel, Spectre one.
Some chilly weather and some wind blowing.
Yeah,
through
you
Kansas right
coming
now.
to, it's like 80 here every day
Beautiful.
now. We're in the
It's
peak
beautiful.
weather
It's beautiful.
period.
It
It's
is beautiful.
unbelievable.
I wear
It
a
is unbelievable.
jacket today, so it's just cooling off.
Yeah, Jacob was
It's chilly
complaining
in the
about
morning.
it being cold.
It's chilly.
Yeah, it is chilly in the morning.
Yeah.
People in the
Chilly
East
for
are
us.
laughing.
Yeah, they are.
Well, we finished a line on the punch card, you guys. We
A
finished
9, a row of 9. I
we
still haven't
finished
complained
our
to
first line. And we finished it with our first OT loss of the season.
Oh, so look at the OT loss.
yeah,
The circle.
that the people were asking last year
Yeah,
to
they didn't have that last
differentiate.
year.
So
Now
now
they
we're
did.
now we're
Look
differentiating.
at that.
So look at that first line. So to recap, win, loss, loss, win, win, loss, loss, win, overtime loss.
Okay.
Not bad.
We need
4-1.
CWP needs to run the math on this.
Oh, he keeps a note on his phone.
right now.
I know, so you got to tell us what's like. He can predict things.
Yeah, he is good at predicting things. What'd you say? 500?
500 hockey
Yeah.
team. Yep.
I think you take that after the first 9 games,
Absolutely,
especially with
a lot
all
of
the
road
road
games,
games, and they've already had some injury adversity.
Yeah, not having Jason Zucker hurts.
Yeah,
I'm sure they'd
you can
love to see
feel
what he
that
can-
one a little.
Hmm?
You can feel it a little.
Yeah.
Somebody asking about the question that Nick asked. They want to ask that question. It's a good question.
Can we read the question?
Yeah, read the question.
Do the coaches tell McBain to take that penalty attempt to draw a fight at the beginning of the third period, or is that just something Jack decides to do as he starts his first shift?
Yeah, the coaches aren't telling players to take penalties ever. they're not telling, and this is
No?
2023. They're not telling players
isn't
to
slap
fight.
shot?
Yeah, it doesn't have. Now they might say be more physical that period, or we need to look at the hit chart. Well, let's be more physical this period. They'd say that, but they are never telling players to take penalties or fights. Jack McBain is trying to stand up for his players and his teammates, and Radko Gudas had been running around, and Jack McBain challenges him to a fight, and to me,
And Radko Gudas said no.
and to me, we've talked about fighting a lot on this show. I'm not a big proponent of fighting. I'm not, and I know there's a lot of hockey fans that just love it, and I get it. There is a place for it, and this is the place. You have to help police the game, and I think McBain going up to Gudas saying, "Okay, you're going to push some of our little guys around. Okay, you're going to put Keller on the boards. Now you got to deal with me." Gudas has to drop the gloves. Like that's just I think those are the unwritten rules of hockey. That okay, if I'm going to push around their little guys, or stop doing that. So I'm glad McBain did that and challenged him. And you know what? Gudas is obliged, in my opinion, he's obliged to engage with McBain.
Yep.
That's just what I think. Or else stop doing the shit with Cooley and Keller, and then stop that. If you're not going to play with the big boys, don't push around the little guys. That's just my thoughts.
But that's who he is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of hate for Gudas in
Well,
the chat.
and it goes back a long way. Like as Shane Doan for his opinion of Radko Gudas.
Yeah, and it's funny. And I'm going to bring up an instance, and I know that this is going really sideways, but it was a home game. The Arizona Coyotes were playing the Pittsburgh Penguins. Shane Doan goes into the corner, and he pushes Letang. Not malicious, wasn't on purpose, but Letang's feet go under him, and he goes terribly hard into the boards, and he's left the game. The next shift, Shane Doan's on the ice. He had to fight.
Mm-hmm.
It was Steve Downey. And Steve Downey can fight.
Yikes.
Yeah.
And he lined up with Shane Doan. And you know what Shane Doan said at the faceoff? He goes, "I know we got to do this." And that was it. Like Shane Doan knew. Because I hurt one of the really good players. This is what happens. Shane Doan respects the game. Shane Doan didn't want to fight.
Yeah.
Not Steve Downey.
Yeah.
So anyway, it just goes to how the gentleman's rules of the game. There's unwritten rules, and that's just one of them. Sorry.
There you
Tangent.
have it. Okay, I'm gonna go outside this game in a second because I just saw a few nuggets in our Discord. To go to look at some Coyotes prospects for a second. Maverick Lamoureux was named the
Just talking about him.
QMJHL Defenseman of the Month,
Get out of here.
and Jeremy Langlois was the runner-up.
I've
So
heard of him.
Coyotes defense prospects are cooking.
So
Are cooking in the
wow.
CHL.
I think it was Mike Gould who asked me about Langlois if they're going to sign him. Yeah, they're going to sign him. They like Jeremy Langlois. They need to sign him by this summer. That's when the rights wear out. But as far as Mavlam, holy crap, is he putting it up? And they're blown away by what he's right. I asked Bill Armstrong this, so Mavlam, Tucson next season. He goes, we'll see. He may just bypass Tucson. Now, it's very early, but
Woo-hoo-hoo.
they really, really like what they're seeing right now.
I just want to see how his parents celebrated after.
See, this is why they can't decentralize the draft, because we need to see that.
We really don't, actually, because if they go farther.
But the memes.
But again, though, here's two defensemen, Langlois and Mavlam, that you look at. We didn't even talk about Shimashev yet. Like, my goodness, you start to look at the future. Again, you were saying, we're talking playoffs this year. Just wait. Like, one of the areas of concern for this team the entire season so far has been their defending and their defense. Well, we just mentioned three guys, and I'm not sure if Langlois is going to be spoken in the same breath as Maverick Lamoureux and Simashev, but he may be a guy that makes this team, maybe. But those other two?
And look who's down in Tucson.
Atrotu?
Yeah, look who's down in Tucson. Max
Zuba.
Zuba. We don't know what the hell's going to happen to Artem Duda. Will he ever play hockey again?
And blatantly asinine, I'm sorry.
There's plenty of guys there. And remember also, we were just talking about this as well, got a lot of picks in the first two rounds of the next three drafts. So they're going to get more defensemen. They're going to get another high-end defensive prospect. They're probably going to get another high-end center prospect.
Zuba.
Can't wait.
Simashev.
I can't wait. I just hope I'm here.
Max Zuba.
So maybe Petey will finally stop yelling about defense.
I know.
This team. By the way, so I brought an antenna to the office today.
Yes.
And Petey installed the antenna. I'm challenged with it, but Petey's got it down, and it works. It works incredibly well. It was 30 seconds faster than cable. It was like Ultra HD. It was phenomenal. So now we have an antenna TV and the cable TV, but we kept them both on because the cable TV was about 35 seconds behind, which was great because when something happened, we can just turn and watch it happen again. The number of times Petey got up tonight and was like, look at this. Literally poking the screen, going, look at this.
Yeah, and so the reason we bring this up is that Petey has volunteered to come to all of your houses to install the antennas.
Exactly. I'll do the antennas, and then I'll break your TV pointing at it. Oh, I
Look
get
at
mad.
the hole. Look at Matt Dunbar. It should be at the dot. Should be at the dot.
But that's the way you should watch the game. We should have one on delay, and then we can go back and start teaching.
Wouldn't it be cool if we could, introduce virtual Petey, and you could just have him in your home to watch the game with you? Hologram Petey. Yeah.
Boy, would that bring a little joy to your life?
You forget he's there, and then you just hear.
If you want a really good sporting, why wouldn't you have him?
Not something you want to hear while you're sleeping, of course, but.
Yeah, my wife might beg to differ on all of those things. I don't think she enjoys watching TV or having me make noises in the bedroom. So.
Okay, we are way off the rails now.
I cannot.
It's after dark now. It's almost midnight, isn't it?
It's 10:40.
Yeah, I know. Feels like midnight. Jesus, it's late. I was trying to take a nap by the second period. More furniture.
Kind of did, actually.
I did. I was tired. Yeah. I was frustrated. And this team frustrates me defensively, and they did it again today. And I know it's because they're aggressive on the back end, and their defense is very aggressive and good skating defensemen, but it leaves holes in behind. So I'll do better. Sorry.
Do you guys think the Coyotes win tomorrow night against the Kings?
I do.
I do too.
I do. And I think here's a couple things. They're going to get home really late. That means no morning skate tomorrow. The only concern, because I'm sure they're all listening, sometimes the goaltender likes to get shots in the morning. I don't love that. I don't think they forget how to tend goal overnight. So there are some guys that are going to have to go to the rink in the morning. Yeah. Just most of them won't have to. They'll sleep in.
Specifically.
Ingram will go. Yeah. But everybody will sleep in. I think Montreal's had a hell of a fun time here. I think they've been around
like Chicago.
Just like Chicago did. I really do. They were here for too many days with very nice weather while the World Series was here. They had fun.
But they've got Uri Slafkovsky on the NHL club for now.
More to come.
More to come on that. Wow. Definitely more to come on that tomorrow in a story first thing in the morning.
Slafkovsky.
Well,
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Is that tomorrow?
It is tomorrow.
It is
and
tomorrow.
You can bet on that game. You can bet money line, puck line, anytime goal scorers, shots on goal, points, first goal scorer. Just so much to bet on. A little mullet magic action. So check it out over at BetMGM. And if you haven't signed up yet, use the bonus code PHNX when you sign up. Place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the BetMGM Sportsbook mobile application of at least $10. and you'll receive $200 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome. You can check out the show notes for full details. And now listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., New York, or Ontario.
So, Petey, what beers were you drinking in your driveway last night?
I said with WOW, and so I stuck with the WOW. Because we started trick-or-treating in the daylight. We were set up before the baseball game started. And our first trick-or-treater was a little boy named Christian, lives down the street. He's still getting pushed in a cart. I don't know, like he's a baby. He's little. But
a wagon?
It was really cute. He was Toy Story. He was Woody, and his dad was Buzz Lightyear, and the mom was the cowgirl with Woody's girlfriend. It was really cute.
We had
Jesse?
a kid show up in
Is it Jesse?
an inflatable dinosaur suit, but the dinosaur had, I was confused by it a little bit, had wings, but it was adorable. But the kid could barely get in our courtyard. And when he got to the door and got the candy, and it was like,
Couldn't get around.
how do I get out of here?
The House of Horrors that Tara built.
Here's the thing. I had a little girl just stop and say, I love your decorations.
Aww.
I was like, okay, you're not terrified by them? Because I figured we'd just scare off most of the kids. Did you have high volume, by the way? A lot of kids coming through? No, did we?
You know, we did, though, because we had Swelsey. We had Taylor Swift's The Skeletons, if you saw her and follow. We had multiple. It was a photo op. Like kids they took it up, like full families took photos with Swelsey.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Like it was really cool.
And of course, Trent and Gilbert came by our house.
Yes, you had a diehard.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
All I heard was, hey, Craig. I'm like,
Shout out Trent. Oh
Very,
my God.
Very cool.
Thanks,
Brian
Trent.
Skilgaki. Do you know Brian Skilgaki?
Cute kids, too.
You know Brian Skilgaki?
Nope.
Skills coach
I
down
know,
in Tucson
I know the
Roadrunners?
name, but
Yeah, he came by.
I don't know him.
Oh, fun.
So I got to see him.
So I didn't do any of that. I did go to a bar and drink a pumpkin porter last night.
Pumpkin. See, I stayed away from the pumpkin, and now he can't.
Why? Pumpkin is relevant till the end of the month.
Oh, yeah, through
Pumpkin
November.
porter, you do the double pumpkin porter. That's
good stuff.
aggressive.
But through November,
good.
you can, I mean,
Okay,
still,
so I can still do
official.
pumpkin.
You
So I
leave
still
the
have pumpkin
pumpkins up.
porter for 4
Yeah,
weeks.
they apply for
Okay.
Thanksgiving. It's
Yeah,
all good.
absolutely.
But wow, if I don't.
Get all the way to that horrible meal that's coming in a few weeks.
Oh, we'll talk about that later.
Oh, boy.
You can visit fourpeaks.com/locator to find all your favorite brewery tours and events. Stein Holding and Oktoberfest. And if you missed out on the Haunted Brewery tours, try again next year. They're so fun. But you can check out at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. You must be 21 or older to drink Four Peaks. Please drink responsibly. We have a super chat from Peter who said, don't normally get to stay up this late on the East Coast. You guys are awesome. Good show. Peter, thank you so much.
Peter.
Peter's up past his bedtime.
Yeah, buddy, there's no way. Not to watch Craig.
I'm just going to tell Peter he's officially my favorite fan.
Sorry, Trent from Gilbert. You've been usurped by Peter
It's
M.
a short run for you, Trent.
Usurped. That was
Peter M.
That was a good word.
U of A.
Usurped. That was a good word. That's a Craig Morgan word.
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
look at, see, I'm wearing off.
I know. Not this far down the table yet.
All right. We want to close out the show by finally talking about what our producer Sean DePaz is up to. We've been keeping this secret for weeks and weeks and weeks, and we can finally say, I'm sure the majority of you listening and watching know, but Sean moved to Boston, literally got in his car, drove across the country with his cat baby, and moved to Boston to produce What Chaos, an all-city hockey show hosted by Pete Blackburn and DJ Bean. And if you are in the hockey internet community, you probably know of Pete and DJ. I've been following their work forever, and they're so freaking creative and amazing. And if you watched episode 1, their interview with Brad Marchand was hilarious and like just such a unique take on hockey content. And Sean was shouting out the PHNX diehards on the first show. So if you haven't listened, it's actually in our feed right now, in our podcast feed. You can also check out their YouTube, What Chaos Show, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts for there, and follow them on Twitter and Instagram and all of the things. But really, really excited for
There was
Sean.
even a pie hole reference in that. So
Yeah. And
There was.
Yep.
There was
so
a lot
thanks
of
for that,
tie-ins.
guys. I'm happy for Sean. It's cool. I know he kind of wanted to be closer to home, to his
closer
hometown
to
of
the
Buffalo.
family. Yep.
So he's getting that opportunity. He's also getting the opportunity to produce a national show with
Good for him.
I'm so excited to have Pete Blackburn. I've followed him for he's hilarious.
He's hilarious.
First of all. So really
both
happy
are.
to have him part of the family, but a little sorry to see Sean go. A little sorry to see Emma go as well.
Yes,
She went national, too.
national NBA show.
I
So
know.
As we have talked
Big
about,
deal.
the people that produce our show.
Danielle, you're next.
Danielle,
Danielle will be running a presidential campaign soon.
Oh my goodness.
you know what though? It's interesting to see the evolution of ALLCITY, not just the people, but the actual company.
Yes.
Because now there's 3 national shows. Baseball is soon to follow once the season kicks up again in the spring. But hockey, basketball, and football live shows right now. Check them out. It's
awesome.
ALLCITY shows with a
ALLCITY's
little
blowing
national
up.
slant. So
Blowing up.
To the moon.
I'm sure Craig will be a guest on it soon.
Yeah. Yeah. We've actually already booked dates, Petey.
No, I know.
How about you?
No, I got nothing.
I haven't booked dates.
I'll be right
actually.
here with
No,
Leah.
they haven't talked to me at all.
Oh boy.
I miss DP too.
Yeah.
He's a good kid.
Yeah, we're gonna miss him.
Good things happen to good people
Yep.
sometimes.
Absolutely. So go support Sean. We're excited to follow along, and maybe he'll have to call in when the Coyotes play the Sabres. And he did say that he will be the support on that show for the Yotes and the Sabres.
There
So
you
he's
go.
going to be beating the Arizona Drum in Boston on the national show.
And I will be in Boston in December, so
There you go.
Great time to be in Boston.
might have
It
to
is?
arrange something.
Buddy. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sarcasm.
How many games on that trip?
Just 3.
Are you going all 3?
We'll see. The last one's Pittsburgh, and Logan
Oh,
Cooley
yeah.
going back to Pittsburgh is kind of a big deal.
I like
so
Pittsburgh.
I'll be for
Kind
that
of
one.
a
Good
big
food.
You know, the game I
deal.
might avoid is the Buffalo game.
Don't tell Sean.
No,
Don't tell Sean.
I know.
Oh boy. All right. Well, that's it for us tonight. Thank you all so much for being here, whether it's 10:51 or 1:51 or whatever time it is, wherever you are.
Time zone change soon?
Sunday.
Like this week?
Yes.
Here
Yes,
we go
we're
on Mountain
here.
Time.
Oh.
Don't like Mountain Time.
Just
Sorry,
be grateful.
Pacific time is
Just
better.
be grateful we played Anaheim at 7 p.m. in Anaheim because
got
next
that out
week
of the
it would have
way.
been
Got
8.
an LA game out of the way, and they're not in that division anymore, so they don't have to do it as many times. Still got to go to San Jose. though.
Hit the like button. Subscribe to the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell so you never miss when we go live. We have tons of extra content on our YouTube besides just our live shows, as I always say. But if you prefer to listen on audio, you can do that too. And be sure to leave us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. When you subscribe and listen, it means a lot to us. You can follow all of us on Twitter at SPetersHockey, at Leah Merrill, at Craig S. Morgan, at Abracadanielle, and you can follow the show at PHNX_Coyotes. We're live again tomorrow night for another post-game show after the Coyotes take on the Canadians. But until then, enjoy the rest of your night, everybody, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
We all silly like the mayor.